Plot twist, it's looking like abortion is actually becoming even more common in pro-choice states than it was before the fall of Roe v. Wade. And it is unlikely that the entire phenomenon can just be explained by, well, people from anti-choice states are driving to the pro-choice states to get the procedure. Over the last couple of weeks, public health institutes and journalists have been releasing little reports on like the year in review after the fall of Roe v. Wade. And there's been some trends that were like what everybody expected, but there was a couple surprisers. Birth rates are up in anti-choice states, surprising no one. Some reporters over at the New York Times, their best guesstimate is somewhere around 32,000 unwanted pregnancies were forced to be carried to term in anti-choice states in the last year. But weirdly, in states where abortion continues to be legal, the incidence of abortion actually increased tiny little bits, like 1%, less than 1% in some places. Now, if you live in Illinois or New Mexico, a state that's surrounded by anti-choice states, some of that number is probably attributable to just people traveling for the procedure. But abortion actually increased a little bit in Vermont and California and states that are surrounded by other pro-choice states. So what gives? Well, no one's like for sure what's happening quite yet, but there was a lady on the Daily the other day that had a kind of an interesting idea for a possible explanation. Here was her idea. She said, look, after Roe v. Wade got overturned, there was all these national level responses to try to make abortion more accessible. The federal government eased up some restrictions on sending mifepristone through the mail. All of these telemedicine startups all of a sudden cropped up. People were putting out more public health information about abortion and just talking about it more on TV, on social media. So her guess was that even in pro-choice states, all of that made abortion just a little bit more accessible for people who are living in the pro-choice states. Let's say you live in a state where 95% of the people who want to get an abortion are able to get an abortion. But then Roe v. Wade gets overturned, and all of a sudden there's all this new telehealth medicine and mail-order mifepristone. Well, in that situation, you might take that state from 95% of the people who want an abortion can get one to 98% of the people who want an abortion are able to get one. But all in all, this is playing out exactly how everybody anticipated. Abortion is not becoming less common in the United States, it's just becoming more inequitable.